In this video, we are going to cover some basics about learning. What is learning? Why is it important? And what types of learning are there? Learning is generally understood in the sense of knowledge that you get from reading and studying. However, there is a much simpler, essential meaning to it. It is a developed skill necessary for survival, not only in humans, but also in animals. You can call it associating or connecting things while you are experiencing life. Learning is the key concept in psychology and in life actually. Everything is learning. Your behaviors, your thoughts, your beliefs, your relationship patterns, and the things you expect from life or anticipate. There are two important things to keep in mind. First, learning is repertoire. There is always a chance your repertoire is too narrow. For example, you might not have grown up in a family where people speak for the sake of conveying their needs, emotions, and thoughts clearly and in a respectful way. Instead, they might have used words as weapons to ridicule, to have the higher end, or to inflict pain. In that case, the only aim you have learned about speaking might be to make people uncomfortable, to ridicule, or to get even until you see or meet people who are doing something else. Because our mind tends to generalize. However, generalizing or inductive reasoning might literally be a logical fallacy. Imagine you are 5 and you see a black duck. You think, ducks are black, and afterwards maybe you saw another black duck. Then you are totally convinced that all ducks are black until one day,
oh, look at the green ducks!
you say a group of green ducks. Now, you need to update your view of the world. Not all ducks are black. Some ducks are black, some ducks are green. This brings us to our second key point about learning. That learning is two-way. You can learn and unlearn things. Your neurons might change their pathways and make different connections. It is called neuroplasticity. Of course, you need to spend some time and effort to open that path, and then you might get a more pleasurable path to be repeated for your whole life. Well, unless you want to change it again. Honestly, it is not a bad idea to revisit some of your thoughts if you're still holding on to ones from your childhood. A child does not have much ability to think in a nuanced, complicated way, so she might end up making overgeneralized statements such as, all ducks are black. As an adult, you can think most ducks are 27% green, some ducks are 67% green, some ducks are black, and I might not know all the ducks there are. This is not about ducks. In psychology, there are two types of learning. First is classical conditioning. Classical conditioning is based on pairing things up and associating things. Second, operant conditioning. Operant conditioning is about environmental factors and how our behaviors are shaped based on environmental cues and responses. We are going to deep dive into these two in the next videos. Literature time. I had now come to a point in my life where I could see things clearly and could avoid being taken in by people. I was 16 and had, you will admit, a certain amount of experience. I had learned to divide people into 3 categories. First, there were the sweet and loving creatures like Kira and my mother, then the brutes like my father, and finally, the people like Mustafa Bey, whose kindness of heart it was wise to beware. On the terrace where I was sitting, I was careful to keep a certain distance from 2 chess players whose glances seemed sympathetic. I thought of poor Wolf, who was so long in allowing me to pet him, and I made every effort to escape the caresses which my youth inspired. Alas, I was so careful that I fell into a worse predicament, for my 3 categories I soon found did not cover every sort. I hope you enjoyed the video. I would appreciate if you like, commented, or subscribed. Thanks for watching.